I want you to just tell me if you can only just one thing, one lesson.
Yeah.
What's one lesson that you learned from all of this, the journey, anything?
From the breakup of the relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I can really see my dynamic in the relationship. I can see, I can see the dynamic, the role that I played. And so I've been able to really see that. And then also that I really, 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 really like my space.
That's funny. That's a plus.
Yeah. So like on Friday nights, I do struggle. Like when my kids are gone on Friday night, it takes me a minute to settle down. But see, Saturday and Sunday.
So you need a visiting husband because you like spooning, but you like your space. So we.
I just like spoon me and leave.
I leave. This is an adult conversation.
Oh God. So yeah, I think and I think I've learned so much. I don't even know what to pinpoint on, but definitely I like me. I think so. I can see my dynamic, but I'm also not to blame. Does that make sense?
I think it really
I'm
does.
the kind of person that will take everything on, and for years and years I thought if I prayed more, if we read this, if we did.
Man, I'm hot. Sorry, I gotta take my.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't blame myself now. I know that I did enough. When I look back, I'm like, nah, that man lived like a king. Sometimes he had all his 3 meals made.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can boldly look back and be like, I did that, you know, and I have no regrets.
Wow.
And I also now, if I do ever meet somebody again, I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I'm willing to engage with.
For me, I have to say that life is unpredictable. I cannot stress that enough because I went to bed one night married, thinking I was a happily married woman. Well, not, I mean, of course. Every relationship has issues. And I woke up the next day realizing it was all over in the twinkling of an eye, or by 1 word or 3 words. I want a divorce. I wanted 4 words. I want a divorce. It was all over by those 4 words. So life is unpredictable. And the other thing that I'm taking away from this is that I spent too many years, not really cementing the whole idea of self-love. And how does that show up in my everyday life, even if I'm married or even if I'm a mother. Self-love. And it's not that I didn't like to dress up. I didn't like things that people would see me and think I'm smiling and I'm a girl that takes up space. The whole context of self-love in my mind now is so different. So different. Baby, you can't break me. There ain't nobody that can break me ever again. So I love me. Love me.
Yeah.
Breathe. So, I'm going to read you a poem and then we're going to get back to the conversation. And this is why I have this piece of paper, because I don't know any of these poems off the top of my head. And the reason for this is these poems weren't written in reflection. They weren't written a year after and I sat down and started to think about what to write. These poems are written in real time as I was experiencing different things. So the first poem I'm going to read to you is a poem I literally wrote in month 1. 3 basic lines. And you want to know why? I had no words. I could barely speak. I could barely eat. The pain was so much. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't look people in the eyes. I couldn't talk. And so this poem is entitled, One Day I Will Again. And it goes a little something like this. I look in the mirror, but I still don't look myself in the eye. I tell myself that one day I will. Everything is riding on one day. One day I will again.
I felt that. I did. I get that. The imagery with looking in the mirror and not looking at yourself.
Oh my God. I literally couldn't do it. Every time I looked up and I said, look at yourself, Yolande. Who are you? Who are you? The tears would either literally blind me from seeing myself Or it would have been a response like, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Who am I? Why am I looking? And I couldn't do it. I couldn't find Yolande in the mirror because it felt like my whole world had been stripped away, my identity.
Yeah.
I stood as a married woman for 16 years, and that has a lot of peripherals, a lot of things behind it. And my whole identity was stripped away. I had to find myself again.
Yeah.
And that's where those 3 lines came from.
Yeah. And it makes sense. I think our identity is wrapped up in our marriages, in not just marriages, but any meaningful relationships that we have. And when they're torn apart, who am I?
Exactly. It's like the carpet has been pulled from under your feet completely, and you lose your footing to the point where some people literally just cannot go on. And I have been there. But conversation for another day. And the thing I'm proud of, you had me in any conversation a year ago today. Couldn't talk, it'd have been tears, and I'm here laughing. I'm here doing this without an ounce of being emotional. And this is healing. This is how I know that I am getting to be the Yolande. And I talked again about the last name, getting back my name, being the Yolande Robertson, and not the rest of it that was added on. Yeah,
that's interesting because part of my healing is that I think so. This is funny. So for years he hated double barreling. So anybody that double barreled, it became a thing for him. He was like, why would they double barrel?
Me too. That was a thing in the beginning. And before you said it, the reason I actually double barreled, right, was that I have a son prior to this relationship. Because when me and this ex-husband met, I had a son who was only 6 months. And in my mind, I was determined to keep a double barrel name simply to represent my child that I had. But the double barrel name served me very well.
Yeah. So I took his name, but because we moved to America so quickly after we got married, I never got to change my passport. So in America and on my master's certificate, because I did my master's in America, I have my maiden name, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And then my passport expired this year, sometime. So I renewed it.
In your maiden name?
No. So part of me, this is the weirdest thing. I thought I would just be like, maiden name, whatever, that's it, right? So I've double barreled it. Partially because of my kids, and a lot of my social media and everything is in my married name.
Oh, right? I see.
And then my maiden name, I was like, I'm not going to give that up.
So now you've gone from having his name to now double.
Yeah.
Well, girl, I'm taking my name back. I just recently applied for my deed poll, and I can't wait to get my name back. The way how I believe, and the way how I love to be married, and the way how nobody's going to make me ever lose faith in love and marriage. Yeah. The man that I marry again, I'm not taking your name. I'm sorry. I love you and I will love you, but I'm not taking your name. I'm keeping my name.
And I love it. And I think it's so cool. And that's why I think healing is not one, like shaped for one person. Do you know what I mean? And I have to acknowledge that, and you probably don't have that problem, but Hamblin is a privilege for me, because it's such a white sounding name. So when people
so that's a serious conversation again.
So I was like, his parents racially abused me for years. This is the one thing I can still hold on to. I never used to. I was one of these people that was like, I was one of these people that was always like, oh, take everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't. Now I'm like, okay, how can I benefit from this? Because I'm like, when the GP calls, when they say, I'm Hamblin, literally nobody's expecting me to stand up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm going to keep the little bit of privilege.
Right.
Just in case I ever apply for these jobs, or do you know what I mean? Where they
listen, you better not be getting any blows here that you're being a hypocrite. I'm gonna leave that right there. You take whatever benefits you. I'm for it.
That's where I am now. I'm just like, I'm keeping the name. my kids have the name, and I'm like, it gives me a little bit of privilege. I'm keeping it. And do you know what? In 10 years, when I'm renewing my passport again, I might be like, F this.
Well, the sad thing is, I renewed mine just before the marriage breakdown, and I'm looking at it thinking, I'm holding this for 10 years. No, I'm getting it, and it's not even a year. I'm getting a new passport.
Oh, girl, you got money.
Getting a new passport, I want my name back in everywhere. And the book, when you see the book, it would have just my name, just my beautiful name.
Healing is so
it's not linear. That's why I'm gonna read you this next poem before we come back to the conversation. So this is you gotta buy the book. It's an ebook, and we're gonna release the book this weekend. The link is gonna be live. And we're going to have a promotional pricing strategy. So you got to buy the book. But this is a poem, my favorite poem, actually, in the book. I don't know why, but this was written in month 8. This is how I was documenting time.
I love it. I love it.
So this was written in month 8, and it's called Pain Makes You Reckless. And this poem came about for 2 reasons. I was talking to a friend one night, very, very good friend, one of the people that I felt helped me through the journey, held my hand even from a distance, doesn't live anywhere near me, lives in my home country. And I was telling her about some of the things that I did and, my overconsumption of alcohol and different things that I had done. And she was like, and I was like, it's my pain. My pain makes me reckless. And she said to me, stop making excuses. Wasn't really making excuses. I felt genuinely that I had become so reckless because of this pain. Mm-hmm. So I wanted a different way to respond to her, to get her to understand. And I wrote the poem. It was really meant for my friend to understand my pain. I hope she read it and got it, although she never mentioned it after. So I don't know if it went over her head, but I love this girl so much. I wanted her to understand. So I wrote this poem for her and also for me to articulate why I felt this way. And for me, what it was is that, yes, I was free. I was now free to live, free to breathe. But I felt like I had so much anxiety that I was still dealing with. I didn't know how to cope. And it was month 8. And I felt like I was under so much pressure to heal and to stop making excuses like she was saying. So to me, it felt like I was becoming something, but I wasn't sure what I was becoming. And so the only name that I could come up with for the poem was Pain Makes You Reckless. And it ends where I was now telling myself basically to get out of that zone of self-doubt and everything else that I was going through. Listen to the poem because I'm going to go on forever. So title, Pain Makes You Reckless. It feels like I'm finally free, yet running from my anxiety, running from that scary part of me, running to embrace the new version of me, running just for my cheerleaders to see, feeling like they want me to heal too quickly, running against the clock of age time, running to achieve every last goal of mine, running to recapture every last adventure of my youth, running full time to live my false truth, running, fearful that someone, anyone, everyone is watching, waiting to judge without empathy. There she goes again, the self-doubt, the trauma speaking out loud, no divine revelation, seeking her own validation and her reincarnation. Out of time and breathless, pain makes her reckless.